If you're getting ready to go to boot camp, these are the first financial decisions I would make while you're at boot camp and within those first 90 days of graduating from boot camp. So please listen up so that you avoid the expensive mistakes that I made and so many other service members before you have made. The very first piece of this is that at recruit training, you are not going to have access to your funds. Like, you're going to get paid, sure, and you can designate an account for that money to go to if you're supporting some people at home, but realistically, that money's just going to kind of collect and you're not going to do anything with it. So the only real financial decision you can make, other than whether or not to use the bank account they set up for you or have some of your money go to supporting family, is the fact that you can invest in the thrift savings plan. And you are going to be afforded this opportunity while you're at recruit training, and a lot of people will be like, I'll deal with that later. But here's why you should say yes and how much to invest. Let's say that hypothetically you made $1,000 a month, which you will make more than that, but let's just say you were making $1,000 a month. And then I took $100 away and now you're making $900 a month. That would kind of be a pain in the ass. Like, psychologically, that would be a painful thing. But if you just started making $900 a month and you knew no different, then that would be fine. Like, that would be the norm. That would be what you're used to. It would not feel like a loss. And so that is the equivalent to putting 10% of your money into the thrift savings plan, and whether or not you do it while at recruit training or down the road will make a big difference on how you perceive the income coming into your paycheck. Because if you take that 10% and you immediately set it up while you're at recruit training, you never see it in your paycheck. You will never see it. You will never know that you would have gotten it. Your paycheck will start out at that $900 and you'll be happy because that's what you're used to getting, and it feels great compared to the $0 you were making before joining the military out of high school. But if you wait and you do it later, it'll be much more difficult to convince yourself to put 10% away, which you should be doing. And so while you're at recruit training, here's a couple of things that you should do. One, you should contribute at least 10%. Ideally, if you're going to be living in the barracks, 20% or more into the thrift savings plan day one, because you don't need it. Because realistically, all of your basic living needs are covered, and you should be investing in your future from day one so that you can set your retirement up for success on autopilot and not have to worry about that down the road, which allows you to make bigger financial decisions and bigger financial moves and risks later because your retirement's already covered, right? You've already got a fail-safe plan. And two, you should put that money into the Roth vice the traditional. And again, I should probably preface, not a licensed financial advisor. This is not financial advice. If I were you, I would put money into the Roth, not the traditional, because you are taxed up front on the money in the Roth and down the road on the money in the traditional. And I almost guarantee you that as an E1, E2, maybe E3 graduating bootcamp, you are going to make less money now than you will down the road as a 50, 60-year-old person retiring and actually accessing the money in your account. So it's going to be better for you to pay the taxes now than it will later, because I don't know about you, but I plan to make more than an E1 by the time I'm 65 and start pulling money out of my account. So that's the very first thing, is you should 100% set up an allotment to TSP, a Roth. In the life cycle, down the road, you can change the fund allocation, but on autopilot so that you never notice it missing from your account. The second piece here is when you graduate bootcamp, you're going to have money in that bank account. Don't go blow it all at once. Don't be like me and go get the tattoo, right? Don't do the dumb stuff on boot leave. Just save it. Now, go have a little bit of fun, but at least save half of it for trainings and the fleet and travel and all the things that are going to come up with you getting to your first duty station. One thing you're going to notice here is that your paycheck will feel like a lot of money because you don't have other bills and expenses at this point in life. So that's basically just fun money, right? And even if you only had that $1,000 a month, which again, you guys get paid more than that, but I'm just using easy math here. If you're staying in the barracks, right, your housing's covered, your medical's covered, your dental's covered, your food's covered, your transportation's covered, like you can walk to your unit, like you are going to be just fine financially with no money out of pocket. That money can be fun money. And so what happens is we blow it all on dumb stuff, liabilities. We go and we buy the Xbox and the car and get a credit card, and we buy the fancy new iPhone and all these other things because we finally have a little bit of money, and woo, why not? You only live once. And what I would encourage you to do is not that. I would encourage you to budget ahead of time and say, hey, I want to put $250 a month into a savings account that I can then invest later, or $250 a month into an index fund as an investment, or $250 a month into a whatever fund. And then, whatever's left over, have some fun with it. Like, enjoy your money, but at least pay yourself first, meaning you take a chunk and you set it aside. I would say at least 10% of your paycheck, if not 20%. And the larger that percentage, the faster you're going to accumulate wealth. And at an early age, every dollar you put away is more valuable than down the road because of the timeline of compounding interest. So I would set money aside early, more so than you think, because at the beginning of this pipeline, you're not going to need a lot of money. You're going to have chow hall food, you're going to have training, you're going to have this. There's not going to be a whole lot of opportunity for you to blow your money unless you're trying, which unfortunately a lot of us are. And then don't go buy recurring expenses. So like if you want to buy an Xbox, you want to have a game system, I got it, no big deal. But save up and buy it in cash. Don't put it on credit and make those payments over and over and over again. And likewise with a car, if you can save up and buy a junky car in cash, an old used car in cash, that will go a lot further for you than if you make a car payment month over month over month, and now you're eating into what you could be paying yourself first with, which is exactly why you need to take that $250 or whatever that number is you decide on, put it away before you have money left over so you never see it. And then you can take that money and you can reinvest it elsewhere and you can utilize it rather than spending it on recurring expenses and then you never get to the $250. The reason I talk to you guys about paying yourself first is if you don't set that aside before you spend the money that month, and I would say automated, you never even see it hit your account, you're going to spend money and be like, oh, whatever's left at the end of the month, I'll invest, and nothing will ever be left. So you got to set it aside first and then spend your money. And I would even take it one step further and go a little crazy into the envelope budgeting system. This is what I did and would still recommend doing for the longest time. So like, for example, on this one, I put $250 a paycheck, $500 a month into groceries, $100 a paycheck, $200 a month into dining out, $50 a paycheck into gas, $50 into barber, $100 into entertainment and booze, $25 into lunch, $20 into snacks, $25 into clothing, $25 into miscellaneous, $25 into GNC, $25 into gifts, $25 into toys. So I put $720 every paycheck into these envelopes, split it up and did it. And that was $1,440 a month that I put into these. And then I would use that cash for everything. And now some of you are like, you can't buy anything at GNC with $25. You're right. But I didn't go to GNC every single paycheck. And so that $25 adds up to $300 a year. And again, that's not a ton of money, but at the time I didn't need a ton of supplements. I ate, like all my protein was at the chow hall. I didn't really use pre-workout. I just used black coffee. And so it was like vitamins, right? It was nothing. And that's also a pretty bare bones. I mean, that's $1,440 a month that I was living on at that time. So that's not what I spend now, but you get the idea. The point is you budget accordingly. And then you set the money aside, you pull the cash out of that envelope to buy for that thing. And at the end of the month, if you've got money left over, you invest it or you save it so that those accounts grow to where you're like, oh, hey, my toys account now has $500 in it and I'm going to buy that Xbox. And that is the smartest way that you can budget at an early age, especially because if you're using cash, you can't just overspend with a debit or credit card. You can't rack up interest on a credit card. This is just purely, I have the money, I buy the thing. If I don't have the money, I don't buy the thing. Or you have to rob it from another section of the envelopes, and then that section will run low, and you get the idea. But this is kind of a bulletproof way to set aside money for your budget and to be intelligent with where your money goes. And notice, none of that said investing, and that's because I was sending the difference of my paycheck before that $1,440 got invested at the beginning of the month, and $1,440 was what I lived on. Not, I spend $1,440, if I go over, that eats into my investment, and then I invest at the end of the month. A couple of things here. One, we mentioned the used car. Please, you probably don't even need one at your first duty station, or at least for a little while, so don't waste the money. But if you're going to buy one, go watch some of my YouTube videos on how to buy a car and buy a used one intelligently. You don't need a fancy car right now. And I say that as a pure, true car guy who currently drives a 2025 Corvette Z06 that is more expensive than almost any mortgage payment I've ever had other than this house. That is something I earned years down the road after selling all my stupid toys I had bought to buy real estate and then selling that real estate to buy more real estate. And I'm telling you this right now, had I not bought all those dumb toys and I'd been intelligent with my money beforehand, my net worth would be probably close to double what it is right now, and I'd have more than just the one Corvette. The point is this, you can buy the fancy car later. 20-year-old you, 19-year-old you, 18-year-old you doesn't need the exotic fancy car. You need to invest in your future so you can buy the more exotic, more fancy car down the road, right? At 18, you're going to kill yourself in a Z06. Also, please do not get married for BAH. And don't just jump into marriage the day you get out of boot camp. You'll notice this happening. It is something you need to be very intentional and very slow to move on, because while marriage is a wonderful thing, divorce will destroy you financially. It is the single most expensive, poor investment I've ever made in my life, right? Now, I got a kid out of it, so you could argue that the marriage itself was a wonderful thing, but getting divorced cost me almost $500,000. You do not want to end up in this situation because you married someone you shouldn't have. Be slow, be intentional, get feedback from other people, take your time. You don't have to rush into marriage, especially not just to get BAH and move out of the barracks. And then be careful, like in the barracks, just live lean, be frugal, eat at the chow hall, be frugal, read books. You don't need the freaking Xbox right away. I bet you your roommate will get one and you can play with him. Like, do the thing, mooch off your friends, let them buy the car and you go carpool with them, let them buy the Xbox and you play with them, let them buy the stupid and you enjoy it. Save your money, invest, read books. In fact, if you haven't yet, download a free copy, PDF copy of my book right here, The No BS Guide to Military Life, or you can go to Amazon and buy it. And that'll teach you everything I wish I'd known when I first joined the service. That'll set you up for more success than any Xbox ever will. So be intelligent about the money you spend and do not just take on recurring expenses. If you buy a game system, that's great, but don't subscribe to all the online $50 a month, $75 a month, $100 a month things that eat at your ability to invest. Mooch off your roommates and invest in your future. The bottom line is this. When you are joining the military, this is the absolute best time to set good financial habits and set your future up for success by investing today with the most valuable dollars you will ever have to invest. Because the longer you wait, the harder it is for every dollar to work for you, because compounding interest works in decades, not now. Meaning every dollar I invest at 18 will be worth more than double if I invested that same dollar at 28. So you're working half as hard right now with every dollar you invest. If I'm you, I'm taking the skater way, the lazy way, and I'm investing now so that I don't have to worry about it as much later, and then you're going to be totally fine and your financial future will be taken care of. So be smart now. Lay the groundwork now. Build the foundation now. Do the hard thing now. Sacrifice now so that your later life looks more like mine than like my peers who text me and call me and talk to me and say, man, I wish I'd listened to you when you first started doing this a decade ago. And I get that all the time. The number of people who have kind of come out of the woodwork is like, man, I wish I'd started doing this when I saw you doing it, or boy, you've come a long way, it must be nice, or whatever the case. Like, I hear from people all the time who just, they weren't on the train, and that's fine. I wasn't on the train at the beginning either, but make the moves. Be the person that all your friends are jealous of when you're in your 30s, not the person your friends are jealous of when you're 18. Live that way. Sacrifice now for like short-term pain, for long-term gain, and you will be just fine in life. So I hope this helped. Subscribe if you got something out of it, share with a friend. And if you want that real, like tangible financial guide, scan this QR code, download a free copy of my book. That is everything I wish I'd known when I first joined the military. It will help you on your journey. And subscribe to our email list so you see all of our different videos and notifications and everything else that comes out, because we are here to help you achieve financial freedom as a service member or vet. Semper Fi. Love you guys. Have a great day.